Have you ever thought about living in an RV full time? Well, today we're going to talk to somebody who made that decision and find out how they got to that point and what they're up to in this episode of Travels with Delaney,
the podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back. My name's Patrick.
I'm Patty.
And we are so excited today to have joining us the O'Boyles from Oregon, I believe.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
we are.
So go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Well, I am John O'Boyle, and this is my beautiful wife, Carolyn.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to
Thank you for
meet
the
you.
invite. Honestly, it's great.
We are so excited to be able to sit down with you guys today. Now, most of you won't know this because, well, you just don't know.
Yeah.
But we are all currently sitting here at Forest Ridge Campground in Ellsworth, Maine.
Beautiful spot.
And that's how we met each other.
Yeah.
You guys have actually been here for a while.
Well, we found it because Jeff, the owner, told us, well, if you want to check out this campground, go on my website and check out Travels with Delaney. So guess what? We actually met you before you met us.
That's
That is true.
Yeah.
That is
That's
true. And when we arrived, I think it was a week ago or
Right.
so, Jeff says, hey, there's somebody here you have to meet.
Right.
They're fellow YouTubers.
Well, if you want to say we're YouTubers, we are on YouTube, but we are just a fraction of what you guys touch or inspire. We have a channel called the Grand Shamrock Tour because we are two Irish kids that fell in love 43 years
Yeah.
ago
Yeah.
on a motorcycle, and so we are traveling around America for the past 3 years, making shamrocks as we go.
That is awesome.
That's cool.
All right. Well, we are definitely going to dive into this because I want to know
Absolutely.
more about
Yeah.
the Shamrocks. But every episode, we always start with a little ditty we like to call This or.
That.
And so
Dun,
today,
dun, dun.
instead of Patty being in the hot
Yay,
seat,
not me this time.
There you go.
Oh, good.
so we're going to put you two. So you've been in Maine for a little bit of time.
Uh-huh.
So which do you prefer? Hot lobster rolls or cold lobster rolls?
Oh, I can tell you I've had a cold, and I would prefer hot.
Okay.
Yeah?
Have you had a hot yet, though?
Not really.
Not really.
No.
But you just know you prefer the hot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I am going to save a lot of money on lobster here in Maine because I've found that I'm not a big fan. I actually prefer shrimp. So
Okay.
There you go.
There you
Shrimp.
go.
I tried a cold one.
Okay.
You did?
So you prefer hot shrimp?
So I prefer hot shrimp to cold lobster. Correct.
We've had both. So I think over the years when we've been here, we've had one of each now, and I think we both prefer the hot
There
with
you
the
go.
butter.
Yeah.
How can we go wrong with hot butter? I mean, come
But
on.
I'm kind of with you, John.
Yeah.
I like lobster,
Right.
but it's not something that I
have-
need all the
right.
time.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, I'm kind of like you. But if I am going to eat a lobster roll, I do prefer the hot.
Oh,
so.
that's great.
When did you start RVing? Is this your first RV or?
Oh, no, not at all. Actually, when we got married, you have to have something borrowed. And so we borrowed a pop-up tent trailer
Okay.
and went on our honeymoon
Oh,
on the
yeah.
Oregon coast,
Yeah,
like most
so-
everybody did of our age.
Okay.
So when a broke woman will go on her honeymoon in a pop-up Coleman with being towed by a 63 CJ3A,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
that's a pretty good basis to build a strong relationship.
Yeah.
There you
There,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
So no, we've been RVers for basically the entire time of
definitely.
our marriage. So
Okay.
From
Yeah.
day one.
A little bit of, we've had the Class A, we've had, all the different types that you could have, and now we have this fifth wheel, of course.
Okay. How long have you had your fifth wheel?
So this is our second Grand Design Momentum. This fifth wheel we picked up in 2022
Okay.
in the winter of 2022. So we had a 21. Is that
Yeah.
right? Is that right?
Yeah, just about a year and a half.
Okay.
And we had a bumper pull originally,
Okay.
and it was a lot of white knuckling for
Oh, yeah.
John
Yeah.
for driving, and they're longer with
Yep.
that extra garage and the weight and everything. The fifth wheel really worked out great.
Yeah. The fifth
for
wheel.
us.
The fifth wheel solved all of the problems that we experienced with the initial year of traveling around the West in a toy hauler.
Sure.
The fifth wheel just is so much more stable and comfortable, and it's more comfortable too.
Sure.
It gives us much more space.
Right.
Right.
A little more elbow room,
Right.
Yeah.
But we were pleased with the Grand Design put together. We were fine with it. We'd had some great manufacturers. I think the Jayco was one of the
Jayco's
ones
great.
we really enjoyed. We've had Coachman, we've had Forest River. We've really run everything like Carolyn said. but we really were sold on a couple of features that Grand Design had that we had in our first bumper pull. And so it was kind of an easy transition for us. Yeah.
So it was really more about going from bumper pull to fifth wheel. Loved what you had, just wanted it easier to tow.
Great question, Patrick. One of the things that Carolyn said is maybe my bathroom was too close to where she was doing the dishes.
That might have been
so we made a huge choice, a wholesale exchange, and bought where the bathroom's upstairs and the dishes are down here.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yes, it's much more comfortable. And you had mentioned full time.
Yeah.
Right.
So you are spending a lot of time in a 40-foot
Right.
length.
Right.
And, that area can get small.
Right.
Sure
So
can.
we had a little more space.
Right.
And that was very helpful.
Gotcha.
But pressure makes diamonds.
So speaking of full-time then, when did you go full-time?
So October of 2020. So our response to what was going on, I'm going to let Carolyn take this because of what I had the ability to retire. I retired. They kept calling me back to work, but I just said, let's go live. Let's go live. And so Carolyn, why?
Yeah, well, he talked me into selling our home.
Okay.
It was a nice little home too, by the way, but I work full-time as a nurse, and I'd been at a hospital for almost 36 years, and COVID was tough. And he just kept trying to extract me for lots of different reasons. So finally, I retired.
Okay.
We, in the meantime, sold the house. We do have a storage unit with some of our, precious goods, but everything else gone. And so we just decided to let me retire from the hospital, and that's been just over almost 3 years.
Yeah, and we have a unique situation that we've raised two sons, two remarkable men, and one lives in Eugene, Oregon on the West Coast. One lives in Cambridge, Massachusetts on the East Coast.
Wow.
You couldn't get too much farther with oceans
No.
between you, right? So we basically said, let's just go live our life, and it has been an amazing adventure.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I like, let's visit one, and then we'll go back and visit the other. And one happens to be coming this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, so looking forward to that.
From the West Coast or your
The one from Cambridge is coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
A little
yeah.
closer.
Yeah, it's a little closer.
The one from the West Coast is going to Hawaii in a month, so he didn't really want to come. He didn't want to come to see us. He's going the other direction.
Yeah.
Even further.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so just about, if I'm doing my math right, you're coming up on your 3-year anniversary of being full-time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What's the gift for 3 years, Patrick? Is it paper? Please tell me paper.
I think it's paper.
Paper.
Oh,
Yeah, you just have to pick up the local newspaper and you're good.
There you go. Oh, what a relief.
So you've been 3 years, and do you see this going on? Like, do you have a time frame where you're like, you know what, we're going to do this for X number of years, or at this point, let's
Not
just go
sure.
have fun and
Yeah.
we'll figure it out later?
Well, I think the thing that we've discovered is that we don't know everything about everywhere.
Right.
We as soon as we get to a location, we discover new things like lobster roll being
Sure.
hot or cold,
Yeah.
or we didn't know it was cold.
Yeah.
So we discover these
didn't.
things, and so there's such a revelation when you go to these places and you experience them for the first time. And so we'll probably know more of when we're done. We'll never stop doing what you guys do, which is travel and experience
Right.
and meet wonderful people. But at some point, we'll probably want to put down roots again.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
hope those roots are in northern Arizona, right next with a view of Sedona. But
Sounds
Ooh.
like
Sounds-
He's
sounds like
already got a
somebody's been
plan.
thinking.
somebody, yeah, first you got to have a plan.
We do kind of have we've been going maybe a week or two at a time in a place.
Okay.
This time here in Maine, we decided to stay for a month. And it's probably a good thing because it's been raining quite a bit.
Yes.
But Acadia, or you make these places where it's your big rock and you really want to visit.
Right.
Sure.
And so now we've made it all the way to the East Coast. We've done this now 2.5 years at minimum for that big travels. But I think we're going to slow it down a little bit. It gets a little more reasonable if you stay in a place for a month.
Right.
That
And
makes
then
sense.
we're going to just try to find some places that we actually may want to land
Sure.
over the next year and a half, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
but
I don't think we'll do it forever.
we continue to be inspired. I watched a video last night on a channel called Travels with Delaney, and I saw this
Oh.
beautiful lighthouse at the end of this rock walk
Is
path.
that Rockford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see, there's still
Oh,
places.
yeah,
like
down
that.
at Rockport. Just
There
right
you go.
Rockport.
There you go.
Yeah, just down. Yeah, it's
Breakwater-
the Breakwater
Breakwater
Lighthouse.
Breakwater Lighthouse is on the list
Well,
now,
we
you
haven't
guys.
been there.
And
So
Owl's
see,
Head
there's a
Lighthouse is the
Yeah.
other one.
Yeah, and the thing about Breakwater, you can actually walk all the way out there. We just
That's
were
what I
having-
saw in your video. Saw
Yeah.
people walking on that.
We just were iffy because it was drizzly, and we had
The rocks are not necessarily
none of us really wanted to slip into the water
Sure.
too much.
Sure.
You know?
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing about traveling. I think that's
Yeah.
why we love
We love
traveling
it.
is there's so many things out there in our own country we don't know about.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but you just got to get out there and start exploring. And in fact, we were watching one of your,
Yes.
I don't know if it was your most recent or your second most recent, but the trip you took up to the northeasternmost point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not even realize that's something we could have done right from here
Yeah,
in a
it's
day.
beautiful, you guys. It's really special.
Lubeck, is that where you-
Lubeck.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I think an example, a couple of them, like Natchez, Mississippi. Had no idea, but the history in that area. And then we kind of made our way over other states, but then we landed in Virginia. And again, the history of our country is just,
Right.
you can't help but experience it when you're there. It's
Right.
just, and that's what's really, it's been really fun.
Yeah, and you guys are educators. You understand that
Oh.
you can't teach us everything, but we can experience a lot when we're there.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And so one of the things that we really enjoyed is as we've gone through the United States, if you're raised in the West, I'm originally from West Glacier, so I'm from Kalispell, Montana.
wow.
So my grandfather was fortunate enough to be one of the original settlers in that area, and so I know beautiful, wild,
Yeah.
rugged outdoors.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
do.
I've experienced that growing up in Oregon and raising our sons in Oregon. Oregon's a wonderful state for
yeah.
beauty and outdoor activity, but historically, it's new, it's fresh, right? It's our newest, it's our frontier still.
Right.
But when you go to Natchez, Mississippi, and you realize civilizations have traveled down that Natchez Trace
Yeah.
from
Really
Native
great.
Americans, from the early civil to the French, the Spanish, to the English, and you just go, wow, who knew? And then when you're there, they tell you the second largest collection of millionaires in the United States outside of New York was Natchez, Mississippi, in just pre-Civil War. You go, no way. Then you look around, and it's amazing. The homes that were built because this was one of the richest places in our country
Yeah.
because of what goes on with trade, right? I mean,
Yeah,
there's a
absolutely.
river right over there.
Yeah, it kind
And
of helps.
gosh darn, there was a lot of stuff, and then you learn all the other some of the problems that were happening there, and the racial strife that was there that has been a center for so many things. Wonderful experiences we've had learning about our country, its many faces, and its many, I guess, places,
Challenges.
right?
Yeah.
And challenges, sure.
Yeah.
Of all the places you visited to date, do you have like a favorite so far?
Well, I wondered why he hadn't taken me back to Montana because Glacier's gorgeous. Montana itself is beautiful, and
Right.
all of those national parks, and
Right.
Yellowstone, and
Yeah, Tetons.
yeah,
we
really great.
we don't have a favorite son. We have two sons,
Right.
so we don't have a
Yeah.
favorite. It's too hard to choose when this country is blessed with either beautiful country, beautiful people, both. You guys are from Indiana. We loved Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
We fell in love with the Amish country. Now it's different. It's not a rugged mountain.
No.
Nope. But it's just got a peace and just this calm, wonderful part that it ticks a box.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It ticks
Sure.
a box. And there's also sugar cream pie.
Oh, yeah. How could you miss? Or old-fashioned.
Or an
whichever
old-fashioned.
you- Yeah,
Oh, my God.
whatever you call that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the Amish.
Shoe fly pie.
The Amish make some good food.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of food, do you mind if we have a gift for you guys?
you do?
Yeah, we have a little something. You guys have been to Kentucky, right?
We have.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know. This is the great thing about Kentucky is they have the
The
have
Bourbon
these-
Trail.
They have the
Yes.
Bourbon Trail, and you could get some really fine bourbon down in Kentucky. And what they'll always do is they'll put that bourbon in a bag. But when you're in Maine, what you might want to look for is a good bean supper. So we have got you guys a gift. We got you a gift of
Bean
and then you
supper.
can have the bag too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
So yeah. Speaking of Bean Suppa.
Bean supper.
Yeah, seems like I just saw something
Yeah,
about that in
that-
a recent
you
video.
guys.
Gosh, it's so funny.
Well, it is. It's funny. We didn't realize that there's as much as that lobster roll is famous in this part
Yeah,
of Maine. So is
yeah.
a Saturday night bean supper.
Bean
You know, I'm
supper.
glad because, we saw the video, and we're
Yeah.
going to talk about your YouTube channel in a minute, but I saw the brown bread, and I have to be honest, I've never had.
I was
You're gonna
gonna
fall in love.
ask you.
No.
If you like molasses,
Yeah,
you're
I
actually
do.
going to like this.
All right.
Now,
Well-
here's my this or that.
We've
You,
turned
you
the
can let me
table.
Oh, there you
know with or without raisins.
Yeah, we don't know.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it does come with raisins.
You can
but
get
I
away with
like
it's
raisins.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
I do
So-
too.
I do
yeah.
too.
Oh my
Well,
God.
I'm gonna give you this is a rare Grand Shamrock option. I'm gonna give you an option of raisin or no raisin because I actually have another can.
There
Okay.
you go.
But,
Okay, good.
As a good Scotsman, you'll love a thick, dense bread. It's delicious. You're gonna love it.
We'll tell you how
Yeah,
to cook it at the
it'll
end
raise
of the
your
show.
kilt. That brown bread will raise your kilt with a little bit
my
on it.
gosh.
And I know a little bit about kilts, so that should be good.
Oh,
Well,
Oh
we are
my
going to
gosh.
talk about
You're
YouTube here in
funny.
just a moment. But first, I want to thank our sponsor for this episode, RV Destinations Magazine. We've been talking about some of the amazing destinations you guys
Yes.
have visited. And so if you're not sure, like, where should I take my RV? Well, there's a magazine just for people like us, RVers. It's called RV Destinations Magazine. Comes out quarterly, and I'm super excited because in the past it's always been digital only, but starting this fall,
Yep.
there is a print option, so you can go. The great thing about RV Destinations Magazine is it's super high on content, very little advertising in it, which is so different than most magazines. And the photography,
it's just amazing.
it is amazing.
Photos are awesome.
And so are the articles. And not only do they highlight the big places like the
Yes.
glaciers, but they also find those hidden gems like the Natchez Trace to help us as RVers find places to go. So if you are interested in subscribing to RV Destinations Magazine, just go to rvdestinationsmagazine.com. You have 3 options. You can do digital only, print only, or our favorite, both the digital and the print. That way we can read it on any of our devices, but we like to
I like to flip through the pages.
and have it laying
Yeah.
out on the table in the RV or the coffee table at home. So thank you to our friends over at RV Destinations Magazine for making this podcast possible. Okay, so let's talk YouTube.
Yes.
When did you get the bug to become a YouTube star?
Well,
star.
I've always
You're a star now.
I've always
That's
wanted to be a
good.
star.
Good to know.
So what we found out is it's one of these great stories that we can weave into this, and that is that our son was at a birthday party, and all the family had gathered, and this is back in Oregon, and one of the family members said, "Hey, Connor, where's your mom and dad?" And he goes, "To be honest with you, I had no idea where the hell my parents are right now." And so we go, "Well, we probably need to let them know a little bit more." And so YouTube is such a wonderful platform because its connectivity is if you want to or you don't want to, or you can seek at any moment in time. It's not like I don't know anything about the algorithms, but if I wanted to know about the Delaneys, I simply go, enter your name, and there you are.
Yep.
And so it's a wonderful way of connecting, in my opinion. So we started a YouTube channel.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it is just mainly sharing our story. Originally, I needed a place to put some videos that we ride motorcycles, so that's a big deal of what we enjoy. But we had done a little blog and know where to put those videos. And then I no sooner put them out there, John said, "Well, I think we should probably talk." So then
John,
he's helping me speak.
Gotta imagine I wanted to talk. The reality of it is what we were trying to do is just enjoy this too. You guys, what we really can pick up on is it's a lot of work what you do.
Oh, yeah.
But you also show that you're enjoying yourselves. I mean, you're here with people that you connect to, and it's wonderful. So that we really liked that. And so what we wanted to do is just tell a little bit more of a story. As a couple of Irish kids, we are storytellers, and probably since I'm not the best at penmanship, my oral history is a little bit better. So this works for me to put the camera on and just talk about what we did last week. We do ride 2 BMW GS motorcycles, which gives us the opportunity to go on or off road. Carolyn's an old motocrosser.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she's been doing this for a long time. Well, we met on a motorcycle. I rode up and asked her for a date,
Sure.
and she asked me if she could ride the bike.
Oh.
Well, that's the one you married, Patty.
There you go.
You know, so
It's
so
been quite a ride ever since, John.
it's really just been so much
You
fun.
guys can imagine, right?
And then we had, like everybody, we had some challenges. With Carolyn had a bit of a health crisis,
Yeah.
and when you get that health crisis, I'll let her talk about that. You decide that maybe it's time to mix it up a little.
Sure.
Well, yeah, I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2018,
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm completely free of
Yay.
cancer
That is
now.
Awesome.
Thank
Good.
you.
That's
Thank you.
awesome.
And I didn't want to drop that in on you, Patrick
okay.
and Patty, but doing great. You know, sometimes you make decisions in life that you just don't know how much time you got.
Right.
And I'm not getting any younger. I have noticed that.
None of us are. We notice that
Oh,
every day. I
Every day
think.
when I wake up.
Oh,
On my knees.
But mostly, you know, we do hike a lot. We have e-bikes,
Yep.
and we do ride our BMWs. That's probably our preferred method.
Sure.
Right.
It's just a wonderful way to see the country.
Well, you can
Yeah.
cover some ground.
Mm-hmm.
You can cover a lot of ground on those BMWs in a short order. So like we talked about Lubeck.
Right.
I mean, for us, it's just a day ride up. We had
Yeah.
a nice lunch along the way. We had a delicious dinner at a restaurant up there, and then spun around. We actually jumped over into Canada that day, which we hadn't been in Canada in a couple of years. I don't know about you guys, but we couldn't get into Canada for basically 2 years.
Yeah.
No, and we haven't
We
yet.
had a plan,
We
but-
had a plan, and then everybody's
Everything fell
plans at the
apart.
start of COVID fell
Yeah.
apart. We were supposed to have gone to Alaska
There you go.
and had to cancel. And I think every year since we've said it would be nice to not necessarily go to Alaska. We are still going to do that,
Right.
but to go to Canada.
Right.
And but yeah, up until just recently, I think it had been fairly challenging.
And now it's basically you better get your passport and your ID
Yeah.
right on your hand because they don't.
Almost
there's-
drive-through.
It's almost a drive-through.
That's
yeah.
what I was going to say. I think you made that comment in the
Yeah,
video
yeah, it
that
just
it was
took-
that easy.
It took longer to get my helmet off, but yeah, it is.
Good.
It's really wonderful. But that's what I think we appreciate about you guys is that ability in this lifestyle to pivot.
Right.
You know, when you've got that kind of a thing that throws at you or whatever, whether it's your travel or COVID or a health diagnosis, you know, your ability to pivot is really critical in success, right? I mean, you guys are successful because you've evolved and changed and pivoted when you didn't get to Alaska.
Right.
Look at the journeys you guys have had.
in its place. I mean, I think going full time, it's helpful to have a plan.
Right.
You know, and I'm kind of a planner. I'm kind of a like to make lists too. So, you know, a little more organized.
And
But
one of us is a free spirit.
yeah. So, but be
I'm the
ready
organizer.
for the plan to
Yeah.
change,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
just when you think you've got it all
Yes.
set down,
It-
no,
it gets
Yeah.
destroyed.
it can change. But for the most part, we pretty much plan.
And one of the things that we've discovered, and I think this really benefits everybody in the RV world or even in a marriage, any kind of situation, just being able to delay that time between stimulus and response, where if you've found a way to give that the appropriate amount of time, then your reaction is much more appropriate. It's going to be better. And so, like, you know, we're just, oh, God, they're going to do that. I'm just going to turn around and go the other way. No. Or, oh, my God, my tire blew. I'm going to just swerve off the freeway. No, just learn to just be patient and delay that time between your stimulus, whatever's going on in our world, and how we're going to respond or react to it. That's been critical to our success. We really, I mean, who knew gas was going to be $8.23
I
in
think that was the
California
highest we
last
paid in
Oh my
California.
God.
It was insane.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
guess what? You slow your roll.
We had
Yeah.
to pivot last
Yeah.
year.
I bet.
We which is interesting because we rode all of Route 66. And I was pretty insistent we were going to do all of those miles on our motorcycle. So we got some really good tires. And we rode even the old section. Total on 2 bikes was over 5,000 miles.
Yeah.
And so we would park somewhere. And then we would ride Route 66 out and back, basically, in the other direction. And then we'd pick up the RV and move.
More
And so we did that all the way to Chicago, and it was amazing. But the fuel prices were astronomical and just about killed us. So we said, okay, we got to
Do
pivot
something.
on this
Yeah.
plan
Yeah.
Right.
and slow down. And so that really helped. And then we just came up with our next plan.
Did you film that that Route 66 trip, is that on YouTube or?
So that's the early iteration. That's why we
Okay.
ended up. That's why we ended up going to and creating a channel. Is we used to take our YouTube, or excuse me, we used to take our helmet camera videos,
Yeah.
Right.
and whatever video, other creative things that we did, and we just throw it up on Facebook. Hey, everybody, look at what we did. And
Sure.
Yeah.
Carolyn would always put music to them. And if I can, I just brag on the editor of the Grand Shamrock.
Sure.
Tour?
Oh, yes. I think you should.
So
Let's hear it.
she's beautiful. She's smart, and she's a really talented film editor. Now it turns out. Who
So
knows?
funny.
So that being said, she would put these little 30-second videos. I guess you'd call them a short,
Right.
but they weren't that.
Right.
They were just us riding around and looking.
Sure.
So we've got all this stuff, Patrick, that we made a bunch of sick content, and we didn't know what to do with it. And so we ended up going to this. It's only been about 4 months, and we started putting them on here. And then it was one of those things like, well, how do I have fun with this?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I begged her. I begged and pleaded. Can we just do a skit? Can we just do an opening skit? Something. So
What
we.
is it with him and skits?
I don't know.
I know you don't know him
I
well.
just want, well, I'm a
I'm still asking myself that.
frustrated actor. My last big role was in high school, and that was 1978.
Yeah.
But so it was just one of those things that we put it together that way, and it's listen, it's bringing us a lot of joy.
Oh, I would add to that too. You guys have noticed this in an RV park. You don't get good Wi-Fi.
Typically, no.
It's so.
No.
We met somebody at the Grand Design Rally last summer, and they gave us this idea of getting a T-Mobile device, and that has made all the difference. And then we were able to actually go,
Yeah.
we have internet now.
You're limited.
Now what are we going to do? So that kind of,
That
all of those
helped,
little things. Yeah, we started a blog. We were able to link those YouTube videos, and then, it just, like you said, it kind of has evolved.
Right. It just
So I'm-
YouTube is an evolution, I think, and so you've been doing it in your current format for about 4 months.
Only about
Yes.
4 months.
Yeah.
But we're stealing best practices, and we met this couple called the Traveling with Delaney. And,
Yes,
and
I'm taking
this
notes.
dude, you got to see this dude, Patty. This guy, first of all, he's attractive. But he has all these great camera angles, and he's got this stuff
He's been
flipping around.
working hard
Oh
at
my
this.
God, yeah. So you steal the best practices. So see if they'll show up on our channel at some point.
I'll tell you what, though, and I do mean this in all sincerity, and because obviously we were not familiar with your channel until we arrived here,
Yes.
and that's one of the sad parts about the algorithm is, as great as it is, it doesn't always feed up things outside of whatever you have searched for.
Right.
Like you mentioned earlier, John, if you wanted to find something specific, you can go and search. And a lot of people don't know this. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, right behind Google, which
Right.
owns YouTube.
Which owns YouTube, yeah.
So that's the great thing. But in terms of just hoping that, the Grand Shamrock Tour shows up on my feed so that I can discover you,
Yeah.
it's hard. And so, but as soon as we heard you were here, we started watching, and I'll be honest, I was blown away because I'm looking at your subscriber count and going, how can they? Well, yeah, but I mean, you've only been doing it for 4 months, and I didn't know that
Get
when we
more
first.
views on
But I'm
Facebook,
like, these videos are phenomenal.
They're awesome.
Your
Oh.
videos are outstanding,
They
and
are.
the
Wow.
editing. You are
Huge
right. The
compliment.
editing
She's great,
is-
huh?
Yeah,
Editing
it's
is
very good.
Phenomenal. It's
Well,
great.
I think this is a good. Your podcast would
that's-
be where I'd like to
thank
say
you.
You're welcome.
I think I've cracked the Google code. And so we're going to announce it right here on your podcast.
You
All
know
right.
what
We're
it is?
changing the name of the Grand Shamrock Tour to Taylor Swift Says Hello.
Oh,
there
right.
you go. That's
If that
thought it was
doesn't
Ed
get
Sheeran.
clicks,
Oh.
if that doesn't get some clicks, I have no idea what will.
Oh, my
that might
gosh.
do it. I never tried that route.
Well, okay.
Well, we definitely have a sense of humor. I think
Yeah.
my son said it best. Who is your audience? And my son said, well, I think it's just my mom and dad.
No, and I think that's what is going to be great for your channel, though, is because you start the videos with your skit,
Yes.
which is fun. That's where
Yeah.
the bean supper came in the other
Oh my
night,
gosh,
which we were
that's so
cracking
funny.
up about.
Yep.
And then you go into showing your travel from the motorcycle's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and it's absolutely gorgeous
beautiful.
photography
Yes.
or cinematography, whatever you want to call it. And I think what makes it different, and I think this is why I think you guys are going to grow, is you're not just another RV channel.
Nope.
In fact, I don't even think you can
No.
you haven't once said we're an RV channel.
No.
You consider yourself a motorcycle channel that travels, but I think you're going to cross over into our niche.
Yeah.
Well, that would be wonderful. We
Yeah, that would be great.
I came out of the bathroom the other day after my shaving and shower and brushing my teeth. I walked down the stairs and I see the word inspire on a Post-it note on my fridge, and I just you're thinking of Ted Lasso with believe,
Yeah.
right? I walk down and there's inspire, and I go, what
What
is
am I
inspire?
cluttering up
And
the
she goes-
refrigerator
I go,
for?
I go, what does inspire? And she goes, I just want to do things that inspire people. And I go, well, I'm inspired. I wanted to know what that, I wanted to know. And
Well,
so if
and I
we
want to
can
stay
get,
focused too, because you got to know why I would
Yep.
like to know why I'm doing something, and I want to be organized enough to just stay focused on that. So, I wouldn't mind inspiring women to ride motorcycles and know they can be out and about and be active. We certainly enjoy hiking and biking and all of that. But yeah, just to inspire people to go out there, or at least with my sisters, because they're great too. They feel like they're there with us.
Right.
And I like that.
Yeah.
And
you
so,
bring people along.
that's kind of one of my goals, is to show people like where we are and what that kind of looks like. And
Sure.
they feel like they're kind of riding along.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
anyway,
well, and you guys have done that. So now we're looking at, what we would hope to do, or what we hope to accomplish, I should say, is that you have inspired a lot of people about traveling, about, even, with your pets and what that meant and how valuable that was. Patrick, you're wonderful in that it's not just about being out here traveling and on the road, although that's a critical component to what, you're trying to project. You've given us behind the scenes of your home. Your home life, your the vehicles, and why you make choices, and those things are so valuable to the world, because I would rather somebody else make a bad choice and tell me about it than me have to make that bad choice and learn from my own self-experience. So these are the kind of things that we hope that you guys are already doing it. We're
you get to share.
we're little baby Delaney's.
yeah.
But I'll tell you, I honestly, truly believe this. Not for long. I really believe that. I do think your videos.
I think so.
Oh,
too.
there's another bean supper in it for you if that's the case.
Okay.
I'm coming to Indiana, and I'm making you a bean supper.
Okay, we're going to hold you to
We'll
that.
hold you to
so,
that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
because I don't know if you
Look
know
at
this, but our home base is like 45 minutes from the RV capital of the world. We're right in Northeast Indiana, and so you'll probably be back at some
We
point.
will.
You'll
we
need
will
some,
definitely
you'll need
be
some
back.
service, so we're going
Yeah.
to hold you to that. So no, I truly though I mean that, because I've seen a lot of YouTube channels over the years, but like I said, I think what our followers are going to love checking yours out is it's fresh. It's a new
different.
perspective.
Oh, okay.
It's
It's
not the
fun.
same. I mean, I hate to
Yeah.
say that, but unfortunately, sometimes people. I need to phrase this very carefully, but I think a lot of people will see one successful channel and then they try to be that
Yeah.
channel.
Duplicate.
And then you just get lots of the same stuff that's already out there, where your channel, in my opinion, is so fresh in the way that
Different.
you're presenting it
Yep.
with
Wow.
the motorcycles.
Wow.
I think it's that's why we
was-
watched one, and then it's
yes.
like, what is this? Well, let's watch another.
Yeah.
And so we've watched like 4 or 5 already,
Well, thank
just
you.
in a couple days.
That's,
And we wanna
our
watch
numbers
more.
our numbers are exploding now.
They are those 5 extra views.
Those 5 views have doubled our normal viewer. So
Thank
we
you
are
for that, though,
yeah, that's-
Patrick. That really makes it, because when you start out, you just go, well, why are we doing it, and is it worth it, all
Right.
your
Yep.
efforts and what have you? And so I'm trying to keep that
Sure.
perspective, to just say it's great to just share my story with my family and my
Right,
my sons
right.
and that.
Right. And
But-
we truly believe that if both of us are doing the exact same thing, or all of us are doing the exact same thing, some of us are unnecessary. And I don't want to be unnecessary. I want to be
Right.
valuable to somebody somewhere, wherever it is. And so that is one of the things. And I think this is where we find this connectivity to you guys, is you are valuable to this community, to baby YouTubers, right?
Right.
To baby YouTubers, to say, wow, look at these folks. They're just out here. They're doing it. You're real. I said before we started this podcast interview today, I said, you're just authentic, Patrick. For everybody that hasn't met you, you're really who you
Sweet.
present on
Thank you.
these videos. And so, God dang it, that's a really special thing. That's really unique. So, you know,
thank
because
you.
everybody was trying to be
I
something
can imagine
else. So.
people meeting the two of you and they just instantly feel like family.
Oh,
So
sweet. Thanks.
That's the way I get that feeling.
Oh.
Yeah,
from
Carolyn
what-
says she
what
knows you.
you're-
Yeah, well, that's what we
Yeah,
strive
Patty,
for.
I just gave her a
Yeah.
great big hug. I know we've never met before.
You know, we are so blessed
We
because
are.
the best thing that we always say this, the best thing that has come out of 6 years of YouTubing,
Is the people.
the people that we have met. We have friends from coast to coast
It's crazy.
that had it not have been for this little YouTube channel,
Yeah.
we never would have met. Never.
Agreed. We've got friends from states that I couldn't spell. Right?
Right.
I can't. Well, okay.
I'll help you.
To
I'll
be
help
honest with
later.
you, I still can't spell Massachusetts.
No, and
So,
one thing that we
let's be fair.
do is we land in a place and we really actually like reaching out to the
Sure.
people that are there.
Right.
They tell you some of the best places to go,
Yeah.
those
Yep.
small places that you might not have heard about.
Absolutely.
And honestly, kind of like the magazine you were talking about,
Right.
it really makes a big difference. And so we've seen some incredible places that we had no idea.
Right.
And so, and you get that from by
Absolutely.
talking to people.
Sure.
And we
Well,
really enjoy that
Well,
part.
and Patty, I think you would probably, you may or may not agree, but one thing is we're in one country. The roads cross all over. We're gonna run into each other
Sure.
again. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
where we're gonna land, and I'll go say, "Hey, they're right over there.
Well, they're in
they
the
got
middle of
another
it."
new trailer."
Yeah.
But again, it's you the proximity
Sure.
of things and watching your guys' videos. I just love it because I go, oh well, we've been there too. It's just wonderful. It's like it's a touchstone to other things, and so but it's the paths just intersect. You don't know. We've ran into one couple 5 times
Oh, my
on the
gosh.
road.
Wow.
We
And-
ended up being very good friends.
Well, you
with
end up
them.
becoming friends if you run into
Right.
people
Right.
5 times.
Right.
He
Yeah.
still owes me
Really
$30.
great.
Just kidding. Just kidding. That's a joke.
So now, are you on any other social media platforms besides YouTube currently?
So we both have Facebook, and I have an Instagram. You know, we also do have a blog here. When we first started, we called it a season. So our first season, we spent 3 months in Arizona for a time, and I thought, I'm going to write my little scrapbook. Well, the scrapbook turned out really good, so I put it on a blog.
Sure.
And then we've been telling that story where we stayed, the places that we have visited, and the motorcycle routes or rides that we have enjoyed while we were there.
Sure.
And we've continued that on.
Yeah.
And
But if
so
you
those
want,
are the three.
yeah, if you want to really see an evolution, look at that first season of where we wrote. It was kind of like, well, you're a 5th grade teacher. What'd you do on your summer vacation? I went to the lake. It was nice at the lake.
Hey.
I can't wait to go to the lake. So I really wasn't very good at helping her write the original blog.
But
now
you've
we've
done very good since.
We've become a little bit more of a
More
storyteller.
proficient. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a teamwork here.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
isn't just,
No.
you gotta
But
stick
we still
together.
go to the lake.
Oh, my
well, this is
gosh.
great.
Gosh.
Well, I want everybody listening to
Yes.
go to YouTube, check
Check
out
'em
the
out.
Grand Shamrock Tour.
Tour.
Make sure you watch some of their videos and
Yes.
then hit that subscribe button because I'm telling you, you guys are going to love
Oh,
these
I love it.
videos.
Wow.
And I know we're excited to follow
Yeah.
along and see where you
I'm
head next.
curious.
Well, yeah. Well, we really appreciate you guys, and it is one of those things that it is you don't know what you don't know till you
Exactly.
learn it, and just
Yeah.
meeting you guys has been just probably one of the
Yeah.
most valued things that we'll have from being here. Outside of not having to water any of the plants outside.
No, that's the great thing about it.
Had some serious rain while we're here,
We've had
Patrick.
some
I think
serious
Jeff
rain.
this morning said there's been like 3 days in the month of June that they didn't
Yes.
have rain here in
3.
Ellsworth.
I saw you
Three.
building an ark over there. in
Yeah,
front
I
of the
thought-
It
I
was
was-
starting to be curious over there, wasn't it?
Start floating away.
Precarious.
Yeah.
You got the 2 dogs.
Well,
Got a good start.
what an honor to have been invited.
Oh,
So
well,
thank
it's our
you.
pleasure.
So
Absolutely.
nice to meet
We're-
you and
Glad
meet
you
you,
could
Patty.
do this with us.
Thank you so
yeah.
much.
All right, everyone. Well, this has been great. Again, don't forget to go over to YouTube, check out the Grand Shamrock Tour. And until next time, we'll see ya.
On down the road.
Bye, everybody.
Travels with Delaney. We'll see you on down the road.